Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I love saying that, like, and I actually do it better than Craig. I have to say, like, you know, I think so anyway. I do, like, you know. So Craig can't be with us today because normally it's on a Monday, but of course we played yesterday, and it's his daughter Lily's 10th birthday. So happy birthday to Lily. He's actually took her out. He's gone and splashed the cash, fish and chips. That's what they've gone for, fish and chips. Well, you know, they must. It must be different there over there in Ireland. Don't upset the Irish after last week's rugby, anyway. So, you know, so fish and chips it is all round. So, I don't wonder if they had mushy peas or peas. What do you reckon? What would the Irish have? What would they have with that? Do you reckon?
I don't know.
Gravy?
I haven't got a clue.
Gravy, Irish gravy.
Pint of Guinness.
Pint of Guinness.
What's
Guinness
that
gravy,
like?
might be Guinness gravy. What do you reckon? Do you reckon they might do something like that over there?
Nice.
Don't they, like, you know? So,
Brown sauce.
Yeah, what do you reckon? Daddy's or HP, Mark? What are you?
I'm HP, but I reckon Craig's a daddy, don't you?
Yeah, I would say I'm a daddy's person myself. Like, put us in the chat what you like and on the brown sauce department, HP or daddy's. Right, I want to know. Like, you know. Right, welcome to the same old Arsenal anyway. Let's introduce our guest because we've got a guest. Actually, looks a little bit like Craig, don't we think? There, Nigel. You know, it could be your twin double there, Nigel.
Oh, better looking Craig.
Better looking Craig. I've got to say that. Night, you know. So, how are we, Nigel? All right. Are you there, Nigel? Can you hear us, Nigel?
Yeah, I'm still here, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How are you? All right.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Like, you know what I mean? All good. So we've got Nigel on days. He normally does the chat for us, but it's his birthday coming up. So he said, look, for the birthday present, he wanted to come on. So I thought, well, that's better than a present. So that's why we've done it, like, you know. So you're on, like, you know. Yeah. Harry, how are you, son? You all right?
Not too bad. Much better. After the way I was feeling on Friday morning last week, much better. Glad to see Arsenal get through in the FA Cup. Still hasn't completely got rid of that sinking feeling from last Thursday, but we're on the road to feeling a little bit better at least.
Yeah, we certainly are, Mark. Lovely collection of shirts there at the back there, Mark. I'm very impressed with that.
Thanks, mate.
Have you got the red ones when we're playing at home then, are you? Or...
Yeah, that's kind of how I thought it'd go.
Yeah, I see. Great minds think alike. You know,
is that all right?
Yeah, brilliant.
Do you know what? I've always been a lover of the away kits. I don't know why. I've got more away kits than I've got home kits.
I'm with you there. I do love the red and white, but I'm just saying about the yellow, isn't there? And I'm glad Arsenal are playing in yellow at the moment.
Yeah, so, I do love the fact we've gone back to the Bruce Bernardo. That's an original one, but it doesn't quite still fit. But
well, pass it on, son. Pass it on. well, listen. It's been a strange old few days from Thursday. I'm going to be honest. For the lack of sleep yesterday, because I didn't get into about 1:30. So I've had a lack of sleep through the Portsmouth game, but I think like a lot of people, I had a lack of sleep on Thursday. So what we're going to talk about Thursday. I know it's all doom and gloom on that. We're going to talk about that. A little bit of a chat about. Obviously, last night as well, what the FA Cup means to us all and what it means to fans. And also, I don't think we cannot talk about what happened on Saturday night at 5:30. It kicked off. I was actually in London, didn't even realise, forgot the game was on, come out of the tube station and my phone was in meltdown. Like, and I was like, what's going on here? Looks at me for scores. Watford 3. Liverpool 0, and I went mad because at the end of the day, we stay the Invincibles now. Should you be celebrating it or not? In my opinion, we should be. It's a great honour to have, and we'll have a little chat about that. But we'll go back to last Thursday, and I had a chat with my dad, funny enough, and I went round there on Friday, and he went to me, "Cool, that hurt last night, son." He said that result hurt. And I said, yeah. And he said, and the reason is because my expectation levels had gone up. I felt that, you know, those sort of results were a thing of the past. And I think he was right. You know, looking at it before the game, I was sort of with my mates playing in Brighton, which would have been a Sunday, because obviously it was the game before would have been that. Of course, now that's gone back to a Saturday. I was thinking, I think I even said on the preview show we'd win 3 or 4-0. I think everybody thought that, Harry, and it all went wrong. And must have been even worse for you with your relations and Greek.
Yeah, the Greek connection.
Yeah. So talk us through it.
Yeah, it was a strange game. It was one of those games where, for me, I never ever felt like Arsenal were going to progress. And it sounds mad because Olympiacos, you know, notoriously they're not very good travelers. We went to their place. We come away with the win, and so you're thinking everything's pointing to an Arsenal victory and Arsenal's progression. But from the start of that game, I never felt that Arsenal really moved the ball quick enough. It was a bit sort of at half tempo, and you know, I expected. I said it on the preview show with Dan I think it was the night before. I was talking about the fact that I expected Olympiacos to come to the Emirates, sit behind the ball and try and stay in the tie for as long as possible. That was always their game plan. Pedro Martins is a really good tactician. His teams are very well organized. They're quite physical as well, particularly up front. They use that to their advantage. 2 absolute beasts at centre-back as well. So I expected them to be that way, to be stubborn. But when Aubameyang scored that spectacular goal, I thought it was over. And I was really convinced that we were going through then. And I thought, you know what, we've not played well this evening, but we're going to get there. We're going to get over the line. And I was actually in the press box on Thursday night, and I was sitting in front of some of the Greek commentators. And when I tell you, when they scored that winning goal, they went absolutely nuts. I couldn't believe I was witnessing that in a press box, you know, where normally people are a little bit reserved, a little bit calm. These guys were going absolutely mad. They were swearing on the commentary and all sorts. Obviously, it's late over there when it's going out, so they're allowed to do that. But I found that it made it even more disappointing for me, because I had to then face these guys who I'd been talking to in the press room previously, you know, about the game and stuff. And they obviously knew that I'm from a Greek background and knew that I was an Arsenal supporter, and I was just getting, you know, they were taking the right piss out of me. So it made it even more difficult to swallow. And the atmosphere around the place was just really eerie after that. Mikel Arteta come into his press conference with his head down. He looked really, really disappointed. And normally with Mikel Arteta, doesn't show a great deal of emotion. You don't know when he's happy. You don't know when he's sad, particularly away from the pitch. So during the game, he jumps up and down. He kicks every ball. But normally in front of the press, he's quite measured. And he wasn't. You could see that he was really, really down. And I've still not got over it.
No, I'm with you. I kept waking up in the night. I was furious, you know. Really, really disappointing performance all round. I didn't see it coming, Mark. What's your take of it? And where do you think this is leading Arsenal now, going into the last part of the season now?
Well, it's a terrible defeat, isn't it? Absolutely terrible in terms of where we're hoping to be. I mean, I know it's a shame really that Potsy ain't on here, because I know that quite a few other Arsenal fans are a massive or been championing the idea of us not qualifying for any European football next year and having a season off so we can just play one game a week and focus on that and try and go seriously for this top 4 and all that sorts of things. But having listened to your show with the financial guys a few weeks ago, we know the dangers and the implications of not getting this European football, and we're, as Harry says all the time, we're running a club on a Champions League money, and we're not only about to have Europa League finances, we're about to lose that, and that will have an impact on our commercial partners. But that aside, because it's not really a fan's bother to get involved in all that, it's just great sadness for me. When I think back, you guys saw that I've been wandering around the old Ivory Stadium these last couple of weeks doing some work and what have you, and I still got those memories, of your old mate Kevin filling in for Righty, on that night when he was suspended in '91, Copenhagen. And I can still remember us, the fear, the anxiety of going to that final against I think a Roma side who had Faustino Asprilla, Gianfranco Zola. You know, these are glorious evenings, the occasions, and you know, Kevin stepped up and done a fantastic job. Ian was suspended, and Smithy scored the only volley from outside the box he ever scored in his life, and we won. And I'll just never forget that. You know, that's what we're in the game for, isn't it? It's to win trophies, to be in cup competitions, and so to come out of it is always bitter.
Yeah, no, do you know, you're right what you're saying here. That was the last time we won a European trophy, and it's you know, we've obviously been to a couple of finals since. Obviously, I think three finals after that. I think we lost the Cup Winners' Cup in '95, didn't we? And then we lost the UEFA Cup 2000, was it, for against Galatasaray, and then of course we've lost the Champions League final against Barcelona. So,
that was on my birthday.
Yeah, that
was my birthday.
You know, we lost against Chelsea last year, so it's four consecutive European finals we've lost, and we for a club like Arsenal, we should have a little bit more pedigree, I think, in Europe. And you know, it's a bitter blow for us to lose that game, and the financial implications are going to be massive, because when you look at it, both goals was just because we just can't defend. Poor defending, don't defend properly. And if you're not going to spend the money in the right areas, i.e. in defenders, this is what's going to happen at the top level in European football. We got away with it against Everton in the Premier League, where, you know, Calvert-Lewin should have scored in the last seconds with a header.
He missed a few, didn't he?
Missed a couple. We give up chances, and then we give up another chance in the against Olympiacos, and bang, we're out of the competition. Nigel, welcome to the show. Nice to have you on. What's your feelings on Thursday night, mate?
Well, I was absolutely gutted when we conceded the last minute goal, and I was absolutely I saw the Aubameyang equaliser, and I thought we've done it. I thought surely we're through, and then the heartbreak in the last minute, and then all of a sudden, then he had another chance that he couldn't take from 4 yards. He did the hardest one. He put high, and then the easiest one he missed from 4 yards, and I just could not believe it. And I was shouting at the screen, "How did you miss that? You put the hardest one away, and then you just put the easiest one wide, and then that was it." And I was so gutted.
You are right, Nigel. It was a horrendous miss. I can't believe that he missed it as well. But it shouldn't have come to that, though, should have it, boys? I felt that, you know, we should have defended that out as soon as he scored.
Yes. Because I watched it back on day, and I could not believe why did David Luiz duck? Why did David Luiz duck? But as I saw on Twitter on Friday, there were a lot of people like saying that Bernd Leno was partially responsible. He shouldn't played it out like the way he did. He should have just hooped it. I was talking to my brother about it, and because he used to be a goalkeeper at school, and he said to me what he would have done was he was just hooped it away, not playing out from the back.
Yeah, I can't believe that he done that, Leno. Let's talk about that, because Leno, we know, gets a lot of praise from Craig at times, but 7 mistakes is the most in the Premier League, along with another. He's in fine company, by the way, when it comes to giving away lots of goals. You know, I mean, there's some good goalkeepers. England's number one, supposedly, is in that in that list, as well as the Manchester United goalkeeper, Mr. De Gea. He's in there as well. And Leno, 7 goals is conceded, but it doesn't go down as a mark against him because of the way it done. But what was there an arrogance about him? What's your feelings of that? I feel there was a bit of an arrogance with him.
I find it really, really frustrating, because people talk about playing out from the back, and absolutely that is what Mikel Arteta wants to do. but I'm sure even Mikel Arteta doesn't want you to do it in that situation with that much time left in the game. It's like, it just, as a professional footballer, you can be accused of taking instructions too literally, and that's what he's done there. He's thinking about retaining the possession. He's thinking, but it shouldn't be that. It should be about getting rid of the ball. It should be about protecting what we've got and being a bit more shrewd in that situation. And we've seen Arsenal be naive time and time again in those kind of situations. And Bernd Leno, for me, is partly responsible for that goal. Bernd Leno, he's made lots of fantastic saves this season. He's done lots of wonderful things, but he's also made a hell of a lot of mistakes. And people always go off on one when we criticize him, and they say, oh, but he saved us this point and he saved us that point. I don't give a shit. We're talking about the Olympiacos game here, an isolated game. And in that game, he cost us against Chelsea as well, which was another.
Could I just say, Craig's going to go mad. Carry on.
He's cost us a lot of times this season. And for me, yes, you can talk about all the good things he does, and he deserves praise after those in those moments. But there's nothing wrong with criticizing Bernd Leno for making a mistake that has cost us. And it's not the first time, and I don't think it'll be the last time either.
Russ in the chat said that Leno's not good enough. Right, so there you go. So from that point of view, Mark, now up until these two Arteta come along, Martinez was playing in goal, and
he's not good enough either.
He done okay yesterday. I know it's against the League One side, but he brings in Leno, and ultimately he's part of the reason that we're out of the competition. You can say there's lots of reasons why we went out of that game. And I'm not just going to chuck it on Leno. We could be here all night on reasons why. Now, what do you feel? Do you feel that Leno was a little bit like what I felt is a little bit of arrogance in Leno? Now, somebody said to me, "Oh, that's the German nature. That's a part of the nature of a goalkeeper to be that." What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think they're exactly right. I think without that arrogance and without I don't think you can become a good goalkeeper. You take Schmeichel's, Lehmann's, and I'm not putting Lehmann in the same bracket as Schmeichel, by the way. It's just what springs to mind. Mark Bosnich, all these people, they're eccentric characters, and you've got to have a little bit about you to be a goalkeeper. Jordan Pickford, he couldn't give us two hoots what anybody thinks about him. Look what he got married in yesterday, you know what I mean? Turns up in a pair of ripped jeans and a baseball cap to his own wedding. He doesn't care what people think about him. That's goalkeepers. Nuts. I like Leno. I think he is going to be a fantastic goalkeeper. He's got a couple of errors in him in a minute, but the difference is, right, if you pay £31 million for a goalkeeper, you're going to have to bear with him, you're going to have to train him, you're going to have to coach him, and you're going to have to wait a couple of years for him to get to the levels that a 70, 80, 90 million pound goalkeeper is in Alisson and the other lad at the other money, chucking money around clubs. If you want to get the finished article, cost money, we can't afford it. So we're going to have to get lads who are going to grow and become, and I do see all the signs of a fantastic goalkeeper, like I did do when we had Szczesny, by the way. And I could never understand why when we bought Petr Cech in, we kept a Spina who was nearly 30 years old and let Szczesny go out on loan and has played for he's playing for the biggest club in Europe, arguably now, when he could have stayed with us and watched Petr Cech train and learn and how to be a winner and how to train like a winner and how to conduct yourself like a winner under Cech for 2 or 3 years. And now Szczesny would probably be our captain, but that's gone by the by. But I agree with what they say that Leno was a little bit arrogant. He should have just put it into Rose Ed. And trust me, I'd like to think that next time he gets that chance, he will put it in Rose Ed, because if he doesn't, then he's not learning.
Yeah, do you know what that is going to come into this, Nigel? We ain't learned. David Luiz. I'm going to be honest. When I see the team sheet against Portsmouth yesterday, I was disappointed he was in it after that goal, because it. And this is what I'm not criticising Arteta in any shape or form here. But when I see that goal, that second goal, 20 seconds left of a Europa League game, a massive game for the football club, financially than ever, and I see them two defenders defend like that, I don't see how both of them two players were on the pitch at Portsmouth. I really don't, and that worries me about Arteta. But these defensive lapses, Nigel, keep happening all the time. And this brings me a little slightly before we go into it. I'm going to bring him into it now because I watched Pablo Mari yesterday and I thought he had a very, very good game. And I know before everybody jumps on the bandwagon, it was only league opposition. It was only League Two. But where are Olympiacos when it comes to standing in the Premier League? They're not in the top. They wouldn't get in the top 6, Harry, would they, of the Premier League?
I'd say they'd get in the top 10.
They get in the top 10. Okay, yeah. Right. I'm so but there they are. We're buckling under a team like that. I see Everton, open us up on more than one occasion from our defence. Time and time again, we're conceding last-minute chances. And these guys, is there times coming to an end, Nigel, or do you think that you've got to stick with Sokratis and because obviously Mustafi's out now for a little while? Is that?
Yeah.
I believe. So, do we stick now with Sokratis and Luiz, or is it time to bring in somebody else?
Well, looking when I saw the lineup for Portsmouth last night, and I saw Sokratis at right back, and I saw loads of people say, why didn't he play Ainsley, Maitland-Niles why didn't he play him instead of Sokratis? And then they could have played Sokratis and Pablo Mari at centre back. But I thought they did really well. Him and David Luiz at centre back, and Sokratis didn't do too bad at right back, to be honest. And I think they had a lot to, especially them two, they had a lot to make up after what happened with the winning goal on Thursday. And I thought they did really well. And I personally didn't agree with BT giving David Luiz man of the match because I thought that Danny Ceballos, because I was listening to Harry's commentary on Hot Mic, and I thought that Danny Ceballos was good when he came on.
So David, I didn't know that. So David
Ferreira
Luiz got man of the match from BT, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Well, I personally would have picked him as man of the match, not David Luiz. David Luiz had a good game. Don't get me wrong. But I thought Danny Ceballos.
Yeah, but he should be having a good game. He's a Brazilian international and he's playing against a League One side. You know what I mean? If he can't look good in a game like that, for Christ's sake, then you got to worry, ain't you?
That's my point, though, Mark. He plays well against them. He plays well in certain, and then gives away a goal like they did against Olympiacos.
He's got to be replaced, Lee. You know the answer to the question. He's been replaced already, hasn't he? Mari coming last night, and what do we think about how he played? You was there. You see him firsthand. What do you think?
I was well impressed. I've got to say that, but people are going to come back at me and say I was League One opposition. I know, but you've got to start somewhere. You've got to start somewhere, and that was a good game for him to come into it. I expect him to play against West Ham. And do you know what, boys? There's only one way to find out if he's any good, and that is to play him.
Exactly. What have we got him on loan for?
Exactly.
We're running out of games to find out. I know they've only just come back from injury, but if we're going to make a decision about whether or not we...
I think the loan is Arsenal's way of stalling on paying them. I think it's always probably, of course, a permanent transfer, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying in there is, someone scouted him. Someone, you know what I mean? Like, so, we better not. We're playing against Portsmouth, but we won't play him against West Ham. I want to see him in the team now. Whether it's at the expense of Sokratis, whether it's at the expense of David Luiz, whether it's at the expense of Mustafi, I don't care. I want him in there, and if he's no good, then he can go as well until we get the proper central defenders. Because I'm fed up with what I see on Thursday night. And if I was at Aubameyang, I don't want to see my top striker upset because he's missed a chance, because he scored the goal. They had 7 minutes back to defend that and get us into the next round, and they were incapable of doing it. So what from that point of view, I think that he done okay, and I think he's got to stay. And is that right that Jermaine Genius give Louise man of the match? Well, that's I think like a little bit of skullduggery going in there from the Spurs man. Like, what I mean? I'll give him the man of the match so he continues to play and let us down. You know what I mean? That's what I feel there. I've got no time for these two no more. After seeing that goal they never redeemed themselves in my eyes now after that goal on Tuesday on Thursday, because that was a massive game for us for financial. That was our chance to get into the Champions League, and them two had the opportunity and they blew it. Then, again, I'm not criticising Arteta, but I'm going to bring this up then. He sees that. He sees what Sokratis done. He sees what David Luiz done. And he turns around and says, well, Maitland-Niles is not doing it in training. Now, he might not be doing it in training, but them two are not doing it on the pitch, and both played yesterday, Harry. Why is Maitland-Niles not getting the opportunity?
I think with Maitland-Niles, I think it's an issue with his attitude. And I've called this out before in the past, and I've taken a lot of criticism for saying this. But for me, when you look at certain players, like one that always gets it is Mesut Ozil. People always say he looks lazy, doesn't look interested, blah, blah, blah. Well, why don't people say it when Ainsley Maitland-Niles strolls around the pitch and looks disinterested? Last season, he got given opportunities in the Europa League and in the group stage this time to play further up the pitch at certain points, which is what he's been banging on about wanting to do. And he didn't take his opportunity in any of those games for me. With Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Mikel Arteta has obviously seen something to do with his attitude that he doesn't like, because he refuses to play him at right back. He'd even rather play Sokratis there. Maybe that's partly tactical, because I think that Mikel Arteta wants his left back to bomb on, and then it means the right back tucking in a little bit. So maybe a central defender isn't completely, out of the running for that role just purely because of that fact. But I don't get it. I think there's obviously something's gone on with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the way he strolls around the pitch. And so I can't really blame Mikel Arteta for feeling the same way. He knows better than we do. He sees him day in, day out on the training field. So I'm just going to trust his judgment on that. But I don't think Maitland-Niles has got a future at Arsenal, if I'm honest.
All right, okay. Just before we carry on, Claude's in the chat, and I know that Claude hasn't been well. Didn't go yesterday because he's not been well. So Claude, wishing you for a speedy recovery. And hopefully see you on Wednesday on Saturday. And if you're moaning, I know you're better. You know what I mean? I know
well too, mate.
I know you're well, So we'll go from there.
Claude.
So what we're going to do is we've got to go into the advert in a moment, So we'll just keep it on the European thing there. Our bigger blood, just on a scale of 1 to 10, boys, I'm going to just go around before we go to how much of a blow was losing this game on Thursday? Nigel, 1 to 10, how big was it?
It was very disappointing to see us get knocked out, and obviously that was our best chance of getting to Europe for next year. But there we go. It was our own fault.
Come on, otherwise I'm going to throw you off this pod. 1 to 10, what was it? Devastation. How was it?
Out of 10.
Out of 10. Come on.
I would give it a 5.
5 out of 10. Like what? Mark?
10.
Is that bad? Do you think it was like that?
Well, yeah, because we wanted Champions League football, and that's basically the end of it. So that was last chance saloon. Done. Finished. Can't get Champions League football. Now can't compete with Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United, and everybody else who's got money when we're going for players. Can't give them the lure of Champions League football. So, yeah, I mean, it was a long shot, wasn't it? But it was a shot. It ain't no more. 10.
Oh, I love the positivity.
No, we've got to move on, haven't we? Now,
yeah, I'm with you. I think it was major.
Friday morning. It was over, wasn't it? Season over, and then of course Friday afternoon. You remember we're in the FA Cup still. Yeah, so it's going back on, isn't it? But
yeah, I'm with you. Like it was 10 for me. Harry,
I'm going to go with an 8, and purely just because that little 2 out of 10. that makes me feel all right is the fact that the rest of the Premier League has been so inconsistent. The ban, of course, that Manchester City are facing as well may give us another sort of sneaky route in. So if Arsenal can string a run of results together, which I think will be easier to do without playing in the Europa League, then we still have a chance, not a big one, but a chance. So for that reason, it's 8 for me. Not
Come
quite
on, Harry, we can do this.
Okay, when we come back after the break, we'll be talking about Thursday night and the Invincibles.
West Cork Beard Company make beard oil and beard balm for a strong, healthy, great-looking beard. Handmade from all natural ingredients in Clonakilty, West Cork. Check out their YouTube channel for beard care tips and advice, or catch them online at westcorkbeardcompany.ie.
There you go. Hey, Harry, you're the only one today with a beard.
Yeah, I keep meaning to order some. I must do that. I must try it out.
Yeah. I wonder if I've got anything for the head. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's another story.
I thought they sent you one for free, Harry.
That's what I would have thought.
You know what I mean? To be honest, like, given that you're the one with the beard, surely.
Yeah, and that's why we had Turkish on the other day. I think just to promote beards. You know, because Dan don't really put it off that well, does he? Really, if I be honest.
Nah, it's a bit wispy, isn't it?
Yeah,
That was the one major bit of feedback this podcast has had, actually, wasn't it? It needs to be more beardy.
More beardy, yeah. More beards required, like that.
So the major question, just before we move on from Thursday night, sorry, Lee, because I know you want to. Did you have those glasses? Did you have those glasses on?
What, Thursday night?
Yeah.
But it weren't Premier League.
That's it, then, isn't it? That's it.
I didn't have them on yesterday, like, and I couldn't see a bloody thing.
And we won.
Yeah. So,
right. So actually, it turns out the glasses are unlucky.
Yeah, that's it.
Perhaps they're lucky in the league. They're lucky in the league. They're unlucky in the cup.
Unlucky in the cup side, you know. So there you go.
Make sure you ain't wearing them next time we're playing the FA.
We're playing the cup, like, you know. So so we'll go swiftly on to the FA Cup now. Going down there yesterday, we were talking to my. We believe in our group that the FA Cup is for the fans. It's the fans' cup because it's all about the day out, and the FA Cup where the Europa League is for the cronkies, you know, and the Champions League is for the money men of it all. Like, but the FA Cup is for the fans. Want to win it because it's a great day out. I believe it is for that. I'm going to say, going down there yesterday, a little bit nervous after Thursday, thinking, this could be a shock and everything like that. You know, a bit worried. First 20 minutes, I didn't think we started off that well. They put it on us a little bit, but in the end, class told, and it was I thought it was a comfortable win in the end, if I'll be honest, boys. Atmosphere down there for the Portsmouth supporters. If you've never been to Portsmouth before and you get the opportunity to go down there because the support and the crowd it's absolutely fantastic, and every time you go down there, they're like that. They're fantastic fans, and they really are vocal. I think it's about 18,000 fans. I think they get there 20,000. You thought there was about 60 there, like really, really top class support down there. But we got the win. We're in the next round, and whatever happens in the next round, lucky glasses or not, we are going to be pulling out one of the big boys. It's as simple as that. Home or away. It's going to be tough. I think that we've got a chance of winning this cup competition. Once you're in the last 8, anything can happen, of course. Go on to you, Nigel, first. What was your thoughts of that? You know, did you think it was a good performance, or happy that we're in the next round? I think that was the most important thing. What's your thoughts of the game yesterday?
Pre-match, I thought it was going to be a very tough, you said, because Portsmouth is not an easy place to go to, even on a Monday night. And to be honest, I found the first half actually rather boring. I was near enough going to sleep. They sent me to sleep. Lucky enough that Sokratis goal right half time, it woke me up, and then the second half was comfortable, really, and then got that second goal early in the second half, and it was it ended up being a bit comfortable. They had a few chances and gave us a bit of a test, but I don't think they weren't doing much to really give us nothing much to be frightened of. And now we go to the quarterfinals, one game away from a potential trip to Wembley.
Exactly. Well said there, Nigel. Well, Harry, we'll come at you because I know you've got to jump off in about 10 minutes. So we'll go to you first. Like, what do you make of the team selection? Like, again, I'm going to be honest. I thought we was going to be. I expected to see Aubameyang on the bench. Ozil getting the night off as well. I thought, I don't know, but he got it right, didn't he, Arteta? It was a good night's work if you look at it from that point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a little bit surprised by the team selection actually, because I thought, he would be desperate to get, get through to the next round, given the disappointment and the fact that in his press conference after the Olympiacos game, he kept speaking about the need to lift the group, and that was really important that he done that straight away. So I thought he was going to go full strength, if I'm honest. So I was surprised to see as many changes as he made. I think it was it 9?
Nine changes, yeah.
I think it was 9 changes. So I was surprised to see that. But he obviously has a lot of trust in some of these young players, and Eddie Nketiah is one in particular, because it would have been easy for Mikel Arteta to send him out on loan again. He hasn't done that. He's kept him. He feels that he can offer something. I thought Reece Nelson done really well. I thought all of the youngsters gave a really good account of themselves yesterday. So the only negative was, of course, the Torreira injury. But in terms of the team selection, I think had we gone out of the cup, everybody would be sitting here having a go at Mikel Arteta. But because we're through, we're going to give him praise for going under strength and still doing it. Hindsight's a wonderful thing in football, isn't it?
Yeah, and do you know what? You're dead right what you're saying there, because he left himself open for it, didn't he? So I think that shows that he's got faith in these young players, for one thing there. Mark, coming on to you, Russ has come up with it. Why did we start so slow? What was your thoughts in the first 20 minutes? Did you think that he'd...
Oh no! Here we go.
Yeah,
cup upset. Here we come. I mean, I said before the game, I thought it was going to be a draw. I thought we were going to struggle to break them down. That they was just going to, things like that. It had live on the cameras. Rainy night down in Portsmouth. Was it raining down there? It was a cold old night down there.
Very cold, though. Very cold.
Yeah, cold old night down there. And then I thought this has got. Back in the old days, I thought it would have been a classic. Get them back to our place, get out of here, get them back to our place and get the job done. But obviously that don't happen no more because the penalty. So I was thinking, there's a chance for Leno to make a name for himself. But of course we don't play our best goalkeeper in the cup competitions, because why would you do that when it's the only competition you could win? I mean, that'd be fucking stupid, wouldn't it? But excuse my French. But I don't know. Why did we start slow? I don't know. Perhaps they're not listening to AC/DC in the dressing room before they come out.
Yeah,
it was a good squad, wasn't it? The team he picked. I'm just going to touch on and say I liked it, and I didn't like Sokratis. I think we all would have picked Ashley Maitland-Niles, but we would have all been wrong, wouldn't we? Because Sokratis scored.
I wouldn't have.
Okay, well, yeah, but Sokratis scored anyway, so we'd have the people who would have done were wrong because he scored. So, it's all well and good, isn't it? But
yeah, exactly. And hindsight is a funny thing. Do you know what I think turned the game a little bit? And it's not because I think Claude touched on it and on the chat. When Sokratis come on it, we had a different sort of.
We get going forward, don't we?
Yeah, it changed the momentum of the play a little bit. It was a little bit, and that's nothing against Torreira. That was an unfortunate injury. I watched that again today, and it wasn't a foul. It's just very, very unfortunate, But I felt
it was great to see 6 under 20. I think we had 6 under 20s in the side, Lee. That's really encouraging. Isn't it?
It is encouraging. It is encouraging. I thought Reece Nelson played really well. I think he needed to step up yesterday. People again will say only against League One opposition, but if he didn't play well yesterday, people would have had big doubts on him yesterday. And I felt that he was my man of the match. I felt that he played really, really well. I like him. Saka. The one thing that worries me about Saka is, again, I think maybe getting a little bit tired. I didn't, see he again played, and you're sort of resting experienced players like Aubameyang, Ozil, Bellerin and someone that's just turned 18 is seeming to be having to play every week. Is this because we haven't got no left back up or whatever? But that starting to worry me a little bit, because I think that, don't get me wrong, I thought he played well again yesterday, but it just seems to be that we're resting him, resting players. I don't think that should be getting rested, Harry. Before you go, what do you make of it? I don't think Ozil should have been rested yesterday. I certainly don't think that Aubameyang should have been rested, but the job was done. But it does worry me that we may be overplaying Saka a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's clear that Mikel Arteta's wanted to give Saka a rest, but circumstances just haven't allowed for that to happen. He didn't start him against Everton, which suggested that he felt he needed a rest, because there would have been no other reason to take him out of the team given his current form. Unfortunately, Kolasinac picked up that injury though, didn't he? And then Saka was forced to come on, and he's had to play there ever since. Tierney's out. Even Cedric, who is a right back by trade, but has been known to play at left back on certain occasions, he's out as well. So it's a real problem area for Arteta at the moment. The alternatives to Saka, there aren't any. So he's just going to have to stick with him, I think, and just try and manage his fitness, maybe by asking him to not bomb forward in certain periods of games. I don't know. He's just got to find a way of managing him at this moment in time to not burn out the young lad, but also to make sure that the team are functioning in the right way.
Right, I know you're going to go in a minute, so we're going to ask this quick question. And I don't want a full-page essay on this one, Nigel. I'm just going to ask what you want, right? Okay, so so I'm going to ask Harry first, We're in the last 8 of the FA Cup. We don't know what teams are going to come through, Who do you want in the next round? Harry.
Oh, it's such a tough one. I want a big team.
Don't do a Nigel on me. Don't do a Nigel.
Liverpool at home.
Liverpool at home. Ooh.
Yeah. At home, though. Not away, at home.
Ow. I like it. Put in the chat. Put in the chat who you want in the last 8. I want to know who you want in the last 8. Mark, who are you going for?
Jurgen Klopp don't bother turning up to FA Cup games most
of
the
time.
Well,
it's interesting to see what sort of teams he got out tonight. I haven't seen it.
He's gone under strength. He's gone under strength again.
Yeah, it's got so Liverpool. Yeah. I like your thinking there, Harry. Mark, what are you going for?
Not Liverpool.
Not Liverpool. Not a week in Liverpool.
A week in Liverpool. What are you talking about? Wait, what? So he's going to start Oxlade-Chamberlain, Lallana, and you know what I mean? It's still better than some of the others that are in. I'd like Norwich, please. Norwich at home. If we're picking anyone out of it,
people in the chat putting Spurs down here. They're not through.
Listen. If we get Spurs, I will take great pleasure in knocking them out. But they got to get through first, don't they? And they're not. So
Norwich at home. I'm going. That's what I'm saying. Norwich at home. I want Norwich at home. That's what. Nigel, what are you going for?
Why you not?
I'm with you. We're great minds think alike, Mark. Nigel, what are you going for?
Yeah. I think if I agree with Harry, I fancy Liverpool at home.
Well, Liverpool at home.
I do. I fancy Liverpool at home. Yeah.
For the same reasons Harry's saying. Derby. Someone's put in the chat Derby. Derby. So,
Oh yeah, I forgot about them. I've got a friend who's a Derby fan.
Don't want Wayne Rooney coming back. Do you
know what I mean? A washed-up Wayne Rooney is still cause problems for us, you know what I mean? So
exactly.
It'll be interesting, you know what I mean? Harry, I know you've got to jump off in a sec, so we'll say goodbye to you because we're going to talk Invincibles now on the last 15 minutes of the show.
I can do another 5, mate. If you
want. No worries.
So
we're going to go on to that. Then we could talk about the Invincibles. Now, there's been a lot of talk about whether you should be celebrating this, whether you should be going mad about it.
49.
I personally think it's a fantastic achievement. I'm glad Liverpool have lost. I didn't want them doing it, and more importantly, the 49 stays as well, and I think it's something for us fans to be proud of. It's part of our history, and I don't think it has any bearing. This is my personal opinion. I'll come on to you guys as well. I don't think it's got any bearing on where we are currently as a football team now. It doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like it's something that I'm very, very proud to have witnessed. I'm very, very proud of Arsenal's double seasons in '98 and 2002, which I was able to see. I will say that I was alive for the 1971 one, but I don't remember it. Like, you know, but so to appreciate that and to go to the season unbeaten is fantastic. And I'm going to be honest now. I was talking to Kevin earlier on today. I want Liverpool to lose another game so that the 91 team gets remembered for it, because at this moment in time, 91 team only lost one game, you know, and so I want Liverpool to lose another one. So we've still got that little record going and all that. And I'm very, very proud of it. People turning around and saying that we drew so many games. And I don't want to compare teams and whatever, like, because I do think that the Premier League now, the teams at the bottom are a lot better than what the teams were when in 2004. But I'm not having it that in 2004 there was more competition, because I think if you look at, and I'm taking nothing away from Liverpool, what they've done, this is the worst Manchester United team I've seen for a very, very long while. It's the worst Arsenal team I've seen for a very, very long while. Chelsea not as strong as they were when we played them in 2004. Liverpool were a decent side, challenging at that moment in time as well. So, you know, 4 or 5 teams were in it there. Tottenham were where they are, where they always are. You know what I mean? Never really challenging. So it's a big thing for me. Like, you know what I mean? Why shouldn't Arsenal fans celebrate? That's my opinion. It's a big thing for me. I get that we're not the side that we were back then. What's our thoughts on this, Harry? What's your thoughts on it?
My thoughts on it are we have every right to be pleased that Liverpool have failed and they're not going to achieve that, because it's something that, as every year passes by, you've seen the great Manchester City teams, they couldn't achieve it. The great Man United teams, the great Chelsea teams, none of them have been able to do it. Therefore, we should be very proud of the achievement, and we have every right to hold on to it. There is a line, though. I was one of the people that I was pleased. I was over the moon when I saw the score. I was out on Saturday night. I saw it and I was pleased. And I put a little tweet out. I said, going the Premier League season unbeaten isn't for everyone. You know, tongue in cheek. And I've enjoyed the moment. But going on and on about it is a bit too much, I think. So I think there's a line. I think we're allowed to enjoy it. We're allowed to be pleased by it. But when you keep banging on about it a week after it's happened, which I can imagine there'll be some of us that are still doing that, then you've got to start to say, come on now, let's get over it a little bit.
Nigel?
Yeah, I was listening on the radio, and I was so pleased to see Watford win. And I, no disrespect to Liverpool, I want them to win the title, but I did not want them to take our 49-game unbeaten run, because that was such a great achievement, what we did. And I wouldn't have wanted that to happen while I'm still here. Yeah. And then someone else take our record. And I was just so pleased that it was an unlikely team like Watford that did it. Really, West Ham should have done it last Monday, but I was so glad that Watford, they played it absolutely perfectly, and I was so pleased that Watford did it.
You know, like Mark, going on you, like, you know, Liverpool. Let's get this up. They couldn't take it away from us. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day,
no,
they could only emulate
equal it.
Equal it. You know, but I think it is a fantastic achievement from that film. I'm with Nigel there, yeah, but like I celebrate it a little bit there. I do draw the line of it all, like, you know, you can't compare whether it's the greatest side and all that. But what I was saying today is that the satisfaction that I get out of it is that when Liverpool win the title, because they will win the title, a lot of the old Scouser fans would be going, "Oh, only if we hadn't lost at Watford." Only it just takes that little tinge off of it for them. What's your thoughts?
They will do when they've won as many leagues in recent history as what, you know, we did. And, you know, we was up there battling. You know, they're just I think most Liverpool fans will admit that they're just the most important thing is, and Ray Parlour said it this morning as well, by the way, is that the most important thing is just to win the league, because you don't get a trophy for going unbeaten, but it is the cherry on the cake. It's something else, it's a bonus. And what a fantastic bonus, and let's not take nothing away from Liverpool Football Club, because they have been the best team in the world. And that's a fact, because they won the World Club Cup and the European Cup last year, and they're going to win the league this year. So they are the best team in the world right now. And they are going to get a far greater points tally than what we did the season we went unbeaten. They have probably scored far more goals than what we did that season. They probably conceded fewer goals as well. I don't know. I don't really care, because we went unbeaten. But we did draw 12 games that year. And they're not going to drop that many points. I think they've only dropped 5 points all season. I think that's ridiculous. So they are a fantastic and they are worthy champions. And good luck to them and congratulations to them. But they haven't managed to go undefeated. And so we can celebrate that. And by the way, anybody else out there, we can celebrate and try and win the FA Cup, because it is a major trophy and it does mean something. And I think going undefeated also does mean something. It's a legacy thing. You talk about Anthony Joshua as a heavyweight champion of the world, 2-time, but for a legacy fight, if he beats Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, that's a legacy thing. They're different levels. So winning the league, yes, you're the best team in the league. Winning the league undefeated, you're arguably one of the best sides in the history. That's
I agree. Listen, no one turns around and says, the 91 team was as good as the 2004 team or whatever, and compares that because that lost one game.
But Tony Adams didn't, did he? Because he was in Chelmsford Nick.
Yeah, Tony Adams didn't lose a game. He actually went unbeaten. And that is true, and he actually does say that as well. So when you look at it, I get what people are saying and all that, but I think Arsenal should be proud of their history, proud of what we've done. Whether it be winning the FA Cup, winning the league, or whatever, it is a trophy. And going back to the FA Cup, I desperately want to win that, because one, it gives us a trophy. Now people are turning around saying that they don't want to win that because it means we go back into the UEFA League. I can't be having that. We've got to have a trophy. You're saying to me that if we're playing Spurs, it doesn't matter if they beat us because we don't want Europa League football. I'm not having it. It's a trophy.
Why are you in football? Why are you supporting a football team if you don't want them to win a trophy? That's my question.
Exactly, and I'm with you on that. Let's win the FA Cup and deal with whatever happens next season. What happens next season? Listen, people turn around to me and say don't want to be in the Europa League. It bloody hurt going out of it on Thursday. You know what I mean? So I can't be having Arsenal losing games and things like that. So it's a massive trophy to win, and hopefully, it's us that do it. I honestly believe now, boys, that the FA Cup really starts now. When it gets to the quarter-final stage now, the 8 teams. And if you look at the FA Cup and you ever look at it, there's all the teams. When you look at it, Liverpool's still in it as we speak.
Well, they might not be for much longer because they're losing to Chelsea at the minute.
They're losing at the moment, but they're top of the league. They're in the competition. It's Manchester City are in the competition that are in second. Leicester are in the competition at third. Sheffield United are in it. Who else is in it?
Newcastle are in it, I think.
Newcastle's still in it.
West Brom.
West Brom. So there's still top teams still in it. I don't want to mention the other team that's in currently but they're in
Norwich.
it as well. Norwich. So
Man United.
So Manchester United still in it as well. Thank you, Mark. You know what I mean? So when you get to the FA Cup, who won the FA Cup last year? Manchester City. Who won it the year before that? Chelsea. Who won it the year before that? Arsenal. It's always big teams win the FA Cup. So I think it should be taken very, very seriously. I hope that whoever we play in the next round, that we're playing our full strength side. I really do. It's great to see the youngsters playing, but now it's the serious business of trying to win a trophy. And you know, winning breeds habit. It is a habit that we've got to start. We shouldn't be. We're not in a position where we can toss away trophies at this moment in time. That's how I feel. Harry, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with you. Particularly what's happened with the Europa League. It means that this is kind of a bit of a last chance saloon for us. And of course, when you look at, you look at someone like Mikel Arteta, who's come in and taken over a job where Arsenal are at a real low point, this would be a great way of lifting the club and of getting the fans on his side and getting the buy-in, as it would be for Frank Lampard at Chelsea as well, because achieving something like that goes a long way in getting the fans on side. So I think we should take it seriously. I think you will see a strong team, but I think Mikel Arteta is worried by the prospect of no Champions League football because of the financial implications and the restrictions he'll be under in the summer. So I think I do think that if it came to push versus shove and we were in a position where we could make the Champions League via the league, I think he would prioritize that, just purely because I think it will have more of an impact on his summer than the FA Cup would.
Mark, you had your hand up there. Do you want to go to the toilet?
No. Well, no. But there was a very good question from PW coming there, and I don't know the answer that I would give. It was FA Cup or fourth place.
I just see that one. FA Cup for me. FA Cup.
It's a trophy, isn't it?
The trophy, you know what I mean? The money men of the board would turn around and say fourth place. But for me, I'm all for winning trophies.
Do you think that could be short term though? That's what people would say, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That if they would say get Champions League, you would potentially get the money to then start a serious assault on the Premier League in a year or two's time. Win the FA Cup, and you're not going to have those finances in the transfer market. I would still rather the FA Cup league because I'm a football fan. Love the thing, but do you know what I mean? That's where we are now, isn't it? With business, I
can see both arguments. I can see both sides. If someone turned around to me and said, "I want fourth place," and give me the reasons for it, I couldn't argue with it, if I'll be honest. But for me, what how I see it is right. You played in. This is how it's been like for me. Yeah, right. We'll give up the FA Cup. We get into the Champions League. We play the group stages and get knocked out in the last 16. You know what I mean? Like that's not great. It's, people will say it's one better than getting knocked out at 32 of the Europa, but we are where we are. We're not a European force, are we? You know what I mean? So for me, FA Cup. Nigel, for you, what is it? FA Cup or fourth?
Oh, definitely FA Cup for me all the way. I've always been a fan of the FA Cup. I've been lucky to watch the FA Cup for at least the last 30 years. I've not been lucky to sort of watch it in like the old days when you used to have, that was the only live game you had on the TV. But every year, I always watch the final, regardless of whoever's in it. I watch it every year. I think it's the greatest cup competition in the world, and nothing should be taken away from that whatsoever. The FA Cup for me.
Brilliant. I love that. Like, you know what I mean? Brilliant. By the way, the HP won the brown sauce debate. By the way, so Daddies didn't get that many votes. I might have to change back to HP then. What do you reckon, boys?
Yeah, I think so. So.
Hello from
different though, Lee.
From India. Just quickly, like saying that what are our chances of getting Champions League football because the other teams above us keep dropping points. Leicester again lost. I think it's 4 games now. They've not won. Now could with all these teams dropping points, let us in through that door. There is a
Harry said we could. Harry's going for it, isn't you, Harry?
Yeah, I am. I think it is doable. I think Champions League is doable. I think it's going to take a hell of a run from Arsenal, but which that's the most difficult part, obviously. But I take encouragement from the fact that no one else is particularly at the races. Man City and Liverpool, I'd say, are much better than everybody else. Liverpool even much better than Manchester City. But after that, you wouldn't put it past anybody else dropping points, and that's why it's so interesting, and that's why people, I guess, argue that the Premier League's not as strong as it once was.
Brilliant. So we're going to leave it there. That's it now. The hour's done. Look at that. What a professional I am. Not an hour and 5 minutes. Right on the button. Just like the advert at 30 minutes. On the button. I am a professional. You no need to come back. Right, that way. So there you go. Guys, Nigel, been a pleasure having you on. Thanks for coming on. Happy birthday for Thursday. Have a great day and a great weekend. I believe you're up in Hartlepool. So everybody in Hartlepool, watch out. Nigel's about. So have a lovely time. Happy birthday to you, mate. No problems. Right, no.
Cheers, mate.
Mark, lovely. Always a pleasure.
Cheers, chaps. Have a good evening. Happy birthday, Nigel.
No worries. And
cheers, Mark.
Thank you very much. Harry, thank you very much. Pleasure.
Always.
Of course, we've got West Ham. Quickly, just before we go, 10 seconds here. West Ham on Saturday. Prediction.
1-0 to the Arsenal.
1-0 to the Arsenal. Nigel?
2-1 to Arsenal.
2-1 to Arsenal. Mark?
We've got a Pots preview show coming up. I'll have a think about it. Let you know on there. I can't think what it is.
Yeah,
I can't think what it is. It's a Pots preview. But
it's a Pots preview.
No one cares what I think anyway, Lee.
Yeah, they do, Mark. I certainly do.
It never comes true. I never get it right. I just say we're going to win.
Too.
We're going to win, haven't we?
Schooner Russ, I said, sometimes you are. I think that we're going to sneak this 2-1. Well, I think that we're all right. When it comes to the league form, we're just going to get through on this. I think we need to win our next 3 games, boys. And,
it's bloody typical, though, isn't it? They just got that, got a cracking result last weekend.
Yeah,
I really hoping Southampton were going to bury them, put half a nail in the coffin, and we was just going to keep hammering it in. But there you go.
Well, let's let it go. We're at home. Let's have it like that. You know so, guys, thanks for a fantastic hours chat there. Thanks for coming on and giving your time. That's it now. So we are back next Monday, talking about the West Ham game. So join us then next Monday. Probably be about 7:00, depending on if Craig's about at that time. He sort of comes on when he likes these days, doesn't he? So
he's more inconsistent than Ozil, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is like that. Right? So have a lovely weekend. Let's hope we get the 3 points, guys. And thanks for all the messages in the chat, and thanks for listening. It's been fantastic. Thank you for your support and everything there, So up the Arsenal and have a good weekend. Come you guys.
Come you Gunners.